Udah better. Cobaan suara. Streaming ya, tapi belum dapat clear dia. Aku udah matikan semua audio.
Boleh. Okay. So, kau buat macam mana?
Matikan semua.
Dia dapat kita tu. Mana semalam kan aku nampak tu dia kau tak tunjuk. Aku pun lupa tak mana.
Bukan.
Siapa? Kalau ada zoom tu kalau undang kita ni kan
Tak cantik dia.
kalau nak dengar susah sebab tak semua connection okey.
It has stable phone.
Kalau nak makan dia boleh.
Makan di luar tu. Kau betul sini. Kita tak jaga ni lama tu.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning. We're waiting for some of our participants doing the registration still outside, kindly be reminded to switch off your telephone or your telephones, yeah, or switch it to the silent mode. Thank you. We will be starting soon. Once again, can you switch off your handphone or switch it to the silent mode so as not to interfere with the program. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang berbahagia Datuk Engineer Ahmad Fauzi Hassan, Chief Executive Officer Energy Commission Malaysia, Yang berbahagia Dato' Engineer Dato' Abu Bakar Jaafar, Co-Chair of UTM OTAC. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Maknur Musa, Director of UTM OPEC. Yang berbahagia Dato' Professors, distinguished speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning and welcome to the second National Workshop and Training Courses on Ocean Energy in conjunction with the World Ocean Week celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, this workshop is the second series of unique meetings that bring all ocean energy researchers from allied fields all together. On behalf of UTM OTAC as the main convener, together with co-conveners Institute of Ocean and Earth Sciences IOES, University of Malaya, and Institute of Oceanography and Environment IMES, University Malaysia Terengganu, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to all for being part of the workshop today. Without further delay, let me call upon Yang Berusaha Dr. Syamsul Sarif of UTM to recite doa and grace the event for the day. Dipersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, Tuhan yang menguasai langit dan bumi, hanya padamu sahaja kami panjangkan kesyukuran atas segala rahmat dan berkat. Ya Allah, ya Karim, sesungguhnya kami berhimpun pada pagi ini di dalam bengkel kekuasaan dan khusus, yaitu Second National Workshop and Training Courses on Ocean Energy, bagi menyatakan kesyukuran di atas kurniamu yang tidak ternilai. Jadikanlah kami hamba-hambamu yang sentiasa bersyukur sama ada nikmat yang sedikit, lebih-lebih lagi nikmat yang melimpah ruah kepada kami. Kami pohonkan darimu semoga pertemuan dalam bengkel ini dikurniakan limpahan ilmu yang berguna dan kefahaman yang berlandaskan wahyu-Mu. Limpahilah keberkatan terhadap usaha-usaha kami. Ilhamkanlah dalam fikiran dan minda kami idea-idea yang benar, pandangan-pandangan yang jelas dan keputusan yang benar-benar. Ya Allah, ya Rahman, ya Karim, sesungguhnya Engkau Maha mengetahui bahawa kami di sini ingin meminta ilmu-Mu yang sangat luas bagi mengembangkan posisi kami sebagai hamba-Mu yang Engkau ridai. Sinarilah hati-hati kami dengan cahaya dan hidayah-Mu. Semoga dengannya kami mudah menerima dan menghayati serta mengamalkannya. Ya Rahman, ya Rahim, ya Rabbal Alamin, sesungguhnya kami bersidang bagi menyatakan kesungguhan, komitmen dan iltizam kami dengan ruh dan semangat untuk membangun, membina serta mendidik dan memanfaatkan anak bangsa serta berbudi dan berjasa kepada agama bangsa. Ya Zal Jalal wal Ikram, kurniakanlah jua kepada kami kesihatan anggota, kecerdasan minda, ketenangan jiwa, kekuatan semangat. Semoga dengannya kami mampu mendapat cabaran, berdaya saing dan mampu mengangkat martabat keluarga, masyarakat dan negara. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Wassallallahu ala khairil khalqi sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi washabihi ajma'in. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you, Dr. Samsul. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please raise up for the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please allow me to invite Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Matnur Musa, Director of UTM OTEC, to deliver his welcoming remarks. Please welcome.
Thank you, Rasita. Yang saya hormati Datuk Ahmad Fauzi Hassan, CEO Energy Commission, Professor Datuk Dr. Irfan Jaafar, our co-chair of the UTM OTEC, fellow speakers, member of the discussion panel, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. I would like to welcome all of you to University Technology Malaysia, and my utmost grateful appreciation on your presence today at this second national workshop and training courses on ocean energy. Currently, ocean energy is one of the renewables that are still under exploitation. There are still small number of ocean energy power plants exist, and mostly are of low capacity or of small sizes, making the benefit of extracting energy from the ocean globally insignificant. Hence, more attention should be given to this renewable energy to exploit its maximum potential. There are three main sources of ocean energy that can be exploited, namely wave, tidal, and OTEC. And among these three, OTEC is probably the largest, and the source is consistently available 24/7 in these tropical seas. There are also smaller sources of ocean renewable energy, and their availability are also significant. Examples, of course, are energy from salinity gradient, underwater current, marine algae, offshore wind and offshore solar, just to name a few. So the second national workshop and training courses on ocean energy held today will look at these various ocean energy potentials, as well as presentation on ongoing research projects, and also on the commercial project implementation, to be followed by a panel discussion on legal and policy aspects of ocean energy. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is just a short welcoming address. So, I would like to end it with a video presentation on one of the sources of ocean energy, and of course it is on OTEC. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
gentlemen, please sit back and enjoy the UTM OTEC corporate video. While waiting for the corporate video to be set up, can we have our VIPs join the floor for the first presentation? Ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, we are pleased to have here Yang Berbahagia Datuk Engineer Ahmad Fauzi Hassan, the Chief Executive Officer of Energy Commission Malaysia, to address the opening keynote entitled Malaysia's Future Energy Supply and Demand. Thank you for being here with us, Datuk. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Thank you, Majlis Majlis. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Anwar Musa, Director OTEC UTM. Berbahagia Profesor Dato' Engineer Dr. Abu Bakar Jafar, Co-Chair of OTEC. Distinguished speakers and participants, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to express our deep appreciation and thanks from Energy Commission Malaysia for being invited to deliver this keynote speech or presentation today. As mentioned just now, titled Malaysia's Future Energy Supply and Demand. So I shall not delve on other issues this morning. Although the title of the workshop is based on the theme of potential and prospects of ocean energy, including OTEC development in Malaysia, but as you will see in my short presentation, we at the moment really do not have the inclusion of ocean energy in our plan. So I apologize for that. But nevertheless, the plan or the scenario supply and demand going into the future is a flexible one, and definitely there is a role for ocean energy going forward to to 2040, for instance, in the future. And what I will try to cover this morning is basically give an overview of where we are at the moment, where we have been in the past in terms of energy demand and supply, and then try to give a scenario on where we might be in the future, perhaps going into 2030s and 40s, hopefully. So basically, as I will show at the beginning of my presentation, this shows our blessing, hopefully, not a curse, that we are quite blessed with energy resources, of course mostly fossil fuel based resources. Coal, about 1.27 million tons, of course mostly in Sarawak and some in Sabah. At the rate of our coal consumption in the coal sector at the moment, maybe it can last over 40 years or so. Of course, the coal is a low quality coal, and they are located in remote areas in Sarawak, and because of that, we really use very little of our coal. Most of our coal is important. And then we have, of course, crude oil, natural gas, and if you look at the reserve life, it's about 20 years for oil and 36 years for gas. And we have a substantial reserve for hydro. In terms of hydro potential exceeding 20,000 megawatt in Sarawak mostly, and I think Sarawak is really harnessing the hydro to supply power to their population and to spur the development of the Sarawak economy, as we all know, based on the SCORE platform, sustainable energy-based development in Samalaju area. And as far as renewables are concerned, we try to this year mini hydro, biomass, biogas, slow waste treatment, totaling about 2,600 over megawatt, converted into our initial capacity. And so it's quite a bit of megawatt we can generate from these. And of course solar abundant and limited only by technology, of course, but it suffers from intermittency of power supply issue. Only is there when the sun shines. So these are some of the challenges. Of course, we have not much wind resource because of our location in the equatorial belt, maybe a bit in northern part of Sabah. So these are some of our resources that are available to us in trying to help us meet our energy demand. Of course, ocean energy is not in the list yet, but maybe we can add to that list after POTEC come out with firm numbers on the resource capacity. Of course, since the late or the middle 80s, government has embarked on this program to harness our gas resources to develop our economy, and we have since then developed our supply infrastructure as shown on the map slide here, in West Malaysia and also East Malaysia. And we have since then arrived quite far from where we started in terms of harnessing the gas that we have. And as you can see in this slide, based on 2014 numbers, natural gas comprises 22.6% of the final energy consumption, as compared to single digit in 1990, 8% in 1990. So basically, we have been quite successful in developing our natural gas resources and utilizing the resources for the well-being of our budget and our economic growth agenda. And we export quite a bit of our gas as well, besides local consumption, as shown just now through our supply resources, supply infrastructure. Electricity basically comprises about 20% of our energy consumption. The quantum does not change much over the years. In 1990, we were having about 30% of electricity versus 20% in 2014. And we have coal about 3%, and the rest are petroleum products or oil, as was it's about 54.7%. So basically, you can see also the trend of consumption has been going up in general because of our economic development needs, and what we have basically a situation of energy consumption going up in tandem with our economic GDP growth. So the dips here and there are basically proportionate to our dip in economic growth. For the power sector, the situation of supply demand is as shown on the slide. In terms of installed capacity, maximum demand and reserve margin from 1990 to 2015. The blue line shows our reserve margin. We need to manage the reserve margin so that we can prevent unforeseen interruptions in the supply of electricity through the reserve margin for planned and unplanned shutdown of the generators. So, but the problem is the higher the reserve margin is, it is translated into more expensive system costs. And so we try to optimize the reserve margin. And alhamdulillah, at the end of last year, our reserve margin was more or less optimum at about 24% or so, as compared to nearly 60% in the 1995 year. So in 2015, the situation of energy mix for our power sector is as shown on the slide. For Peninsular Malaysia, on the right hand side, we have about 21,000 of generation capacity megawatt versus peak demand of about 17,000. So we have quite a healthy margin. Sabah also not too bad, healthy margin, and Sarawak, of course, because of hydro capacity, margin is the highest. So all in all, at the end of last year, we have quite comfortable situation in terms of supply and demand for power in Malaysia, and we were able to basically prevent problems in the supply of power to meet the demand. In terms of fuel mix, you can see that in Peninsular Malaysia, the one in yellow is basically gas, about 49% of gas, coal, the dark is there, about 47%, then about 5% of hydro in blue there, and a bit of others, distillate and REs. Not much. Sabah, you can see there is basically 82% of gas. Diesel and medium fuel oil, about 10%, 5% of hydro and RE is quite significant in Sabah as compared to Peninsula, is about 3% or so. In Sarawak, we have also quite a big chunk of hydro, 60% as I mentioned earlier, because of the resources that Sarawak has in terms of hydro resources. And we have also 80% of gas and 21% of coal as a reserve, about 1% or so. So this is the generation fuel mix in the country as of last year. And actually there has been pertinent factors that have affected the fuel mix over the years. You can see here the energy prices over the years from year 2000 until last year. You can see that world gas prices in the form of world LNG prices, the one at the top that being imported to Japan, CIF Japan, is much higher than what the power sector pays and the industries pay for the gas. Because you can see the red line at the bottom there, pipe gas for power sector, and the green line there, pipe gas for distributors of gas and large industries, much lower than the world price of gas at the top, as well as much lower than diesel, of course, at the top. Diesel, the one red at the top. But at the very bottom, most part there, coal price for the power sector, as you can see, is the cheapest of the lot. So basically what happens here in our country is basically the coal price is based on international prices. We do not regulate the price. However, the gas prices, be it pipe gas or LNG that we import, are all regulated. But since 2013, sorry to mention regulated for LNG. Actually, LNG price since 2013, since we started importing, was back to price X being Dulu, plus transportation cost, and a discount of 10% is given to non-power sector, and 50% for power sector is given for the LNG that we produce at Big Tulu. Still, it is basically much less than what Japan pays, for instance, and what we have to pay for other fuels like diesel. So this is reflected in our generation fuel mix over the years, from 1982 to 2015. You can see that in the early 2000s, the gas really dominated the fuel mix. At one time, exceeding 80% fuel mix came from gas. However, as we started to plant up coal-fired power plant, and the coal price had trended downwards as shown now, and coal being the cheapest, and coal has been slowly eating up the the gas share shown over the years. So our fuel mix has basically been transformed from the early 90s, whereby we use a lot of diesel and fuel oil. But the hydro has more or less been constant over the years, but gas and coal has been changing their dominancy over the years, and now it's basically coal that is basically dominant to the near future. RE, as you can see in this slide, is not mentioned because it is negligible so far, less than 1%. Sorry to mention that. For the non-power sector, the gas, because of the subsidized price, as I mentioned just now, gas demand has been really rapidly increasing since the early 2000s. And as shown here, the distribution of bulk gas has really took off rapidly since then. To a certain extent, that since 2009, we experienced inadequate domestic gas supply to meet the burgeoning demand. The graph on the left-hand side there shows that the red line is the demand, the green line at the bottom is the supply from domestic sources. So much so that we have to start to import in 2013 through the regasification terminal to the country, as well as import from our neighbors Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia through pipelines in the early 2000s to meet the domestic demand. So last year you can see that 55% of the gas is being used by the power sector and 31% by the industry sector. Very small for transportation, about 1%. And we also export to Singapore from Peninsula Malaysia about 6%. And petrochemical use is about 7%. So this is the situation of energy demand breakdown in Peninsula Malaysia as of last year. And we are facing this with the situation of very tight supply since 2009. So basically, there was a study done by IEA, International Energy Agency, in cooperation with us recently, and they produced a report, Outlook 2015 for Southeast Asia. It says that going forward into 2040, we will experience a slower growth rate of about 2.7% of primary energy supply versus about 5.1% over the last 2 decades in Indonesia. This is expected because as our economy develops, we tend to use less energy resources to fuel our economic growth, and we start to be more efficient in using energy. So demand is about 2.2%, also a slowdown compared to before. And at the end, in 2040, shows here that the mix has changed, is going to change rather. Gas will be reduced from 42% to 29%, and coal will increase from 17% to 35%, and oil or petroleum products will also decrease from 36% to 29%. Hydro will basically be increasing as well, 1 to 2%. Renewables, bioenergy will increase or will be about 4%. So for the power sector, we can see here the demand projection until 2035 also will be slowing down to about 2.3% until 2030 here. As we become more efficient, I suppose. And if you look at our historical and possible future generation fuel mix for Peninsular Malaysia, if you combine the historical fuel mix just now until 2014 and 15, and then project into 2034, you can see here the mix again changing going into 2034 here. Coal will be increasing further. I think sometime in 2022 it will be about 2023 or so it will be about 65%, and then it will come down in 2024 when we hopefully start to bring power from Sarawak, from the hydro resources, and then maybe in 2029 or so, coal will go down further when we start to operate nuclear facilities. Of course, this is, as the title shows, is one scenario. It can be a different scenario. In this scenario, we have nuclear and power from Sarawak. Of course, this is not firm at all at this point in time. But these are some of the possibilities that the government is exploring. And as I mentioned, this option shows that the bit of coal to 2023, 5%, and about 4% of other renewables. Other means other than hydro. Hydro is about 5%, and then if you get hydro from Sarawak, then it will be about 2035 or so. Of course, this is not cast in stone. We are always looking at the future mix every 6 months or so, and things develop that have not been included, then we start to run the numbers again, run the models again, and it will change. And as far as REs are concerned, of course, if you look at the grid connected and the off-grid, I think there is a paper afterwards on this. We have mini hydros about 34 megawatt, biomass and biogas 130, solar about 228. So total grid connected is about 376 megawatt. Off grid, if you look at the palm oil mills, for instance, about 700 over megawatt being generated from biomass and biogas. We have solar about 8, and a bit of wind, they're 0.2. Maybe they are no more working now. And total about 760 megawatt. So all in all, total over 1,000 megawatt of RE generation. Of course, I added the ocean potential at the bottom there. As Dr. Bakar has always said to me, we have a substantial potential, and hopefully we can start harnessing the potential soon. Spearheaded by UTM WATEC, of course. But a good news is, as mentioned at the bottom, the recently launched bidding program for 1,000 megawatt plus solar, plus scale solar, and also 500 megawatt net metering projects will further boost the RE generation for renewables over the next 4 years. So if you look at our historical mix trend as well as the option in the plan that I presented just now, basically what we try to do is we try to align the generation planting up plan with national energy policy objectives. As you all know, we have basically 3 objectives. Firstly, to ensure adequacy, security and cost effectiveness of energy supply. And this we try to achieve through fuel and supply source diversification, maximization of indigenous potential, proven generation technologies, and going into market pricing regime. Second objective, efficient utilization of energy. We try to include as many as possible plants that are state of the art in terms of efficiency, like supercritical technology, which can achieve 40% efficiency for coal plants, and latest H-class technology, which can achieve 60% efficiency for gas plants. And then we also strive to mitigate negative impact on environment, diversified generation fuel mix that includes low carbon resources, of course not too successful, and we also include clean coal technologies. But the bottom line is basically we want to minimize the system generation costs. So we have constraints here and there, and at the end of the day we really cannot go all out to satisfy any particular criteria as listed here. So if you look at the world fuel sources that has been reported by various reports, this one is taken from BP, you can see that the coal, for instance, from the former Soviet Union can last over 350, maybe nearly 400 years. And the world coal can last over 100 years. The gas can last about 50 to 60 years. And the oil about 50 years. Of course, this is conventional gas. It does not include the potential for shale gas. So if you put in here shale gas potential, the gas potential can exceed, maybe it can reach until 200 years or so. That's what they say. So basically, the countries that are exporting energy on the right hand side, led by the US, or rather producing energy, led by US, Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, and Malaysia is not in the list there. So that basically reflects the relative quantum of resources we have. But the geopolitical aspect has to be looked into when we decide what to do in the future. One challenge that we'll be facing is basically securing more coal supply will be more challenging in the future. You can see that now we are importing about 20 million tonnes per year of coal for the power sector. But in the year 2040 or 2030, for instance, or maybe even 2025, we will be exporting over 40 million tonnes, so double. Yeah? But we have to compete with other countries in South Asia and Asia as well to import coal. And this is going to be a big challenge. Yeah? But there are other positive developments for gas. Petronas, as you know, has embarked on intensifying exploration, recovery, enhancement from depleted fields and marginal fields. I shall not go through the list, but we have on the slide there, the gas terminal we developed for Pengerang in 2017, hopefully to be commissioned. That will have another option for us to import gas from LNG market, and we are going to market-based pricing. And in fact, the Parliament Dewan Rakyat has already approved our bill to embark on what is called third-party open access regulatory framework to enable market participants other than Petronas and Gas Malaysia to bring in gas and use the infrastructure to supply gas to end users. So this is a game changer, I think, for Peninsular Malaysia, where we have more players now who can make use of the infrastructure in place to import and supply more gas to meet demand. And basically this shows some options to increase the gas volume in the future to meet the carbon intensity goals. So in here we can see that if we follow our plan just now, maybe in 2029 we will reach the target of reducing by 40% the carbon intensity as targeted by government in 2020. But if we increase the volume from 600 million scf to 1,000, for instance, in 2022, we can achieve that reduction in the power sector. So we have to be more efficient as well. Primary and final energy intensity indicators show that we are slowly getting there in terms of trying to be more efficient in the use of energy. The graph shows that it has not trended upwards since early 2000s for the primary and final energy intensity, and the industrial energy intensity more or less like the two. For electricity as well, more or less stabilized since the 1990s to 2014. So we hope that when we do this incentive-based regulatory framework, we started in January 2014, people will be more prudent in using electricity and energy in the future, and we hope that we do not have to plan up so much in the future. And of course, we have with us our new energy policy basically plan launched by PM in the 10th Malaysia Plan, which talks about market pricing, supply side diversification, energy efficiency, governance and change management. We always look at these to develop our future plan. I think I don't have enough time to go through the details, but you can read in the plan. And if we were to look at our plan just now, you can see that we base our plan on system least cost criteria, minimum loss of load expectation of 1 day per year, 20% minimum reserve margin, and we have an index called Harbinder-Hirschman Index, which we use as a guide to ensure security of supply and fuel mix diversification. It should not exceed 0.5. So if you saw just now, the coal went up high in terms of the share. We went up that high because it still has not exceeded 0.5. So this is our criteria. But going into the future, we will be looking at CO2 emission intensity, HHI for fuel suppliers, net energy import dependence as one criteria, and fuel stock availability. So these criteria are being refined, and we will adjust the future plan accordingly. If you look at the world, you look at the BP report, you can see that gas is going to increase in volume until 2030. Renewables will go up, oil will come down, coal will go up and come down, hydro will be flat, and renewables contribution will be the most. But I thought I would like to show this. We also look at this report from IEA, Blue Map scenario, going into 2050, that we need to use fuel and electricity more efficiently, because they say that you can reduce the carbon emission if you are more efficient, and this contributes about 38%. This is actually the elephant in the room, should I say so. So just by being more efficient, we are actually putting in more resources in the system. So I think that's about it for this paper. I thank you very much for your attention and for your kind invitation for us to speak this morning. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you so much for sharing the EC's outlook with us today at the Dato'. Once again, I would like to call upon Professor Matno to be on stage, together with Yang Berhadi Dato', for a token of appreciation giving away ceremony. Proceed. Yang Berhadi Prof. Matno. I would like to apologize for the technical error this morning. So for now, we will present to you the OTAC corporate video.
Say it's not just our supply again. There are reports on long lines in
Our world's oil reserves are quickly diminishing, and our population will double in the near future. At the rate our world is consuming energy, we will not be able to sustain ourselves for future generations. The earth cannot keep up with our growing human demands. How will we live in a world that we cannot sustain? The ocean offers the single largest opportunity for meeting our energy needs. 80% of the energy that is received from the sun is stored in the world's oceans.
As long as the sun is there, we can harness the amount of heat stored in the upper layer of the ocean. That will ensure our energy security.
Ocean Thermal Energy Conversion, or OTEC, is the solution. OTEC works by processing the temperature differences between hot surface water and the cold water of the deep ocean to produce energy. The process starts when warm surface water is used to boil a fluid, producing steam. The steam turns a turbine, generating electricity. Cold water from the ocean's depths condenses the steam back into liquid, completing the cycle. The advantage of OTEC is that it provides continuous, consistent baseload power. There are many regions of the world that have OTEC resources, including Malaysia.
We have discovered that we do have ocean thermal energy resource, especially in the deep waters of Sabah and Sarawak.
UTM's Ocean Thermal Energy Center spearheads this initiative.
This is a center that promotes not necessarily first the research and development, but our way of moving forward is to commercialize ocean thermal energy, and our main role is to promote private investment, and we'll continue to do further research in order to improve the existing technology.
OTEC offers various solutions with multiple applications.
One of the energy carriers that we're going to produce is hydrogen fuel, and hydrogen fuel will be the dominant energy carrier in the 21st century.
With innovative synergistic products, OTEC offers more than an energy solution.
One of the byproducts of converting the thermal energy into electricity or energy equivalent like hydrogen fuel is water, and we can apply another technology to produce drinking water,
providing an inexhaustible supply of clean energy, fuel and water for humanity.
When we pump the cold water from the bottom of the sea, and this water contains so much nutrients, and this nutrient could help promote the growth of phytoplankton, zooplankton, and that will attract small fish, big fish, and bigger fish, and that will ensure our food security.
With strong support from the Malaysian government, UTM OTEC is confident of achieving these goals.
And I think now we are ready to commercialize the established technology.
OTEC offers a long-term impact on investments.
In Malaysia, we are fortunate to perhaps the first set of customers will be those producing oil and gas in deep waters. And OTEC plants can coexist with the deep water production of oil and gas. That will be our first customer.
With the assistance of our technology providers, we are ready to roll. OTEC offers a clean and renewable vision of the future.
The knowledge has been revealed to us, I would say, 1,440 years ago. If you are a Muslim, you know Surah An-Nur, verse 14.
UTM OTEC is committed to providing a sustainable future. We are working to make this goal a reality.
OTEC is a game changer.
Water into energy. Continuous, constant power. Clean, renewable, inexhaustible, sustainable.
Next, ladies and gentlemen, let me call upon Yang Berusaha Puan Azhar Ahmad, Director of Renewable Energy Sustainable Energy Development Authority, SEDA Malaysia, who will present to us on the topic Initiatives by Malaysia for Renewable Energy Development. Please welcome on stage Yang Berusaha Puan Azhar.
Assalamualaikum, good morning everyone. Sorry for the technical glitches. I think Dr. Fauzi has elaborated at length in terms of information on, I would say, energy demand and supply for the country. So from my side, I'll be sharing on updates on RE initiatives programs in the country. So what happened to the automatically? Okay, just to give a brief overview, but I think Dato' Fazil has elaborated at length. I think in terms of energy situation in Malaysia, in terms of primary energy supply, oil and gas accounts for 80% of our primary energy supply. If you see there, renewable energy is negligible, as mentioned by Dato' Fazil just now. It's totally not in the picture. But hydroelectric accounts for about 2.3%. Hydroelectric is considered as renewable energy pursuant to our, I would say, the redefinition of renewable energy in 2014. So the government has considered that hydroelectric, including large hydros, is part of renewable energy. Okay. And in terms of final energy consumption, if you see there, most, I would say, the consumer is actually coming from the transportation sector, followed by industrial sector and others like non-energy as well as residential and commercial. Okay, in terms of generation, electricity data, most of the generation coming from natural gas, followed up by coal and hydro. Okay, if you see here, if hydro is included as part of renewable energy, then it is considered as 60.1%. Okay. Still, I would say in terms of other types of RE like biomass, biogas, solar is still too small. Okay, just to bring you back on the history of overall energy policy in the country, especially focusing on renewable energy. The government, launched our national energy policy in 1979 with three objectives: looking into the supply to ensure adequate, secure, and cost-effective energy supply; the utilization objective to ensure that the efficient utilization is promoted, and as well as the most important factor is environmental objective to ensure minimize negative impacts to the environment. Then national depletion policy was introduced in 1980. This is to prolong the lifespan of our nation's oil and gas reserves. Okay, 1981, the fourth fuel policy was introduced, aimed at ensuring reliability and security. Then in 2001, five fuel policy is introduced, of which RE is considered one of our to encourage utilization of renewable resources available abundantly in the country, especially solar, biomass, small hydro, as well as biogas. Okay, focusing on renewable energy development alone, the country has started efforts, initiatives in renewable energy way back during the Malaysia Plan, so about 15 years ago. Okay, at that time RE was introduced as the fifth fuel, and the target was set at 5% of energy mix. Okay, however, we're not able to achieve the target that we have set. Then again, we renamed Malaysia Plan 2006 to 2010. The target was revised, but in terms of putting a target in percentage value, we put the numbers, which is 350 megawatt for the whole country, including Sabah. But at that time, end of 2010, it was only 61.2 megawatt connected, exporting to the grid. Okay. Again, we didn't achieve whatever target that we have put previously. Then in the Malaysia Plan 2011-2015, at that time, feed-in tariff, okay, our RE Act was gazetted end of 2011, and now it's been we are at the fifth year. As at 2015, the number was only 332 megawatt installed capacity of RE. Okay, still 332 megawatt is very, like Dato' Fazil mentioned, is negligible. That's the reason why it wasn't in any of our radar in terms of electricity generation for the country. Okay, in the 11th Malaysia Plan again, I would say renewable energy has been in primary focus in terms of generation. So at that time, again, in the 11th Malaysia Plan, the target was
We hope to achieve of 2 gigawatt electricity generation coming from RE. Okay, and during 11 Malaysia plan also, there's new mechanism to promote for the RE, which include net energy metering. Okay. This is our National RE Policy and Action Plan. Way back in 2010, it is already 5 years old, so we are in the process of revising the figures and the numbers because the data is totally outdated. But however, looking back at the whole strategic trust, it covers all angles, which include our legal and regulatory framework, namely our RE Act and feed-in tariff, as well as the formation of sustainable energy development agencies, and also to look into the conducive business environment for RE. Not to forget human capital development. That is very important, so that we do not rely experts from the foreign. Okay, we should have our own pool of resources so that we should be able to operate and maintain our own RE power plants in the country. Okay, strategic transfer is to look into enhancing RE research and development. This is an area we shouldn't forget. Okay. And also finally, creating public awareness and advocacy programs is also important to ensure that, especially the youngsters, they are educated from the early stage. Okay, and this is the targets in terms of RE RE electricity generation mix. Okay, 2050, where are we? Okay, the target is we are supposed to be at 985 megawatt or 5.5% of generation mix. But as I mentioned just we are only at 332, only one third of our target. Again, we failed to achieve whatever we have set during the for the third time, Malaysia plan. What happened to Malaysia? Why are we not able to achieve whatever target we have set? Okay, then by 2030, again we are still referring to this figure. We are supposed to achieve our 2 gigawatt RE generation coming from RE by 2020. So I do not know when, I can't tell at this stage, but looking at our current progress of RE and also with the new mechanism launched by the government, we should be able to achieve our 2 gigawatt installed capacity by 2020. Okay, just to give you some information on what feed-in tariff, what RE is all about. I'm not too sure whether you're aware of this. Anyone have heard of RE Act or SEDA Malaysia before? Raise your hands, please. Only few, not even half of the audience. Okay, RE Act was gazetted way back in 2011. At that time, Sustainable Energy Development Authority was also formed primarily to implement feed-in tariff in the country. What feed-in tariff is all about? Okay, energy production coming from renewable sources can be exported to the grid and sell to the utility at a premium rate, but you buy your electricity energy at the normal retail tariff. Okay, this is to encourage more generation of RE, especially for us as an individual. How you can participate is by installing solar PV system at your own houses premises. Okay, you can sell your energy to the utility and you will pay at premium rate. Okay, the payment for the FRT actually come from the electricity end users, including each and every one of us. So 1% levy was charged on top of the additional electricity bill. Okay, and it was actually increased to 1.6% since 1st January 2014. If you look at your electricity bill, you can see there's a one line of KWTDB, Kumpulan Wang Tenaga Boleh Baru. You are actually contributing to this RE fund. So indirectly, we are actually promoting, we are actually contributing to green energy generation for the country. So these are the eligible RE resources eligible for feed-in tariff scheme: biomass, biogas, hydros, solar PV, as well as geothermal. Geothermal is included in December 2013. Wind is not there yet. UTEC is not there yet. Okay, it is always important to see that any RE to be eligible in our FIT scheme, it has to be commercially and technically viable. Okay, so that the banks can is confident to come in providing financing to the RE project. Okay, biomass from Malaysia mainly coming from these different bunches. Okay, as well as municipal solid waste. Biogas mainly from this palm oil mill effluent, again coming from these palm oil millers, and also landfill yield from landfill gas. Okay. Small hydros, okay, these are all actually not more than 30 megawatt maximum. More than that, you are not eligible for FIT scheme, to participate under this FIT scheme. Okay. Okay, solar PV, I think among all technologies, solar PV has been the technology which is, I would say, is like a hot cake. It's in very good demand. Whenever you release the quota, it is all gone within less than 1 hour. Maybe I can share with you after this what the reasons and what about the rest, which is like, I would say, like slow moving. The take up rate is not as good as solar PV. Geothermal, at the moment, we have approved one project in Tawau, Sabah. There's a potential of 36 megawatt of geothermal power plant to be developed. Okay. So this is the rates effective for Jan 2050. You can refer at our website. It is real time and online. Whenever we revise the rates, it will be reflected accordingly. So, okay, FIT duration means power purchase agreement. Okay, for example, biomass, biogas, the effective power purchase agreement is for 16 years. Okay, small hydro, solar PV is 21 years. So you can actually sell your energy to the utility at the fixed rate and for this prescribed duration. Okay, this is our status as at December. As I mentioned just now, we only 1/3 from our target of 985 megawatt 2015. So from here, okay, biogas operational power plants is only about 80 megawatt. This is actually exporting to the grid and be connected. Those off-grid is not included in this, not included in this figure. Yeah. Biomass 75 megawatt, small hydro 18 megawatt. Okay, small hydro is still less than 30 megawatt, not including the large ones. Okay, solar PV 221 megawatt. If you look at this, compare these four technologies. In terms of numbers, mass is solar PV, because we're talking about solar PV is always like household 4 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt, 12 kilowatt, commercial 200 to 400 kilowatt, small, but the mass is there. But biomass, biogas, we managed to get 1 or 2 projects, then it contributes to the amount. For example, biomass is normally about 8 to 10, 12 megawatt sizes. Biogas 1 to 2 megawatt sizes. But there are actually few other barriers that we need to look into on other REs. For example, biomass it is always an issue of feedstock. Okay, securing the long-term array is not possible. The getting the feedstock is only the contract is always about on 3 years basis. So anytime you want to renew the contract, so there's an increase in your feedstock supply. Biogas initially issue was always about interconnection. It's very remote, but since SEDA we have revised the rate once in 2013, and then we have increased the rate, the FIT rate. Now we can say that the number is growing. We have approved about 70 plus biogas power plants projects for the whole of the country, and most of it are still under construction. We can see starting next year, in the next 2 years, there will be more biogas power projects are coming up. Biomass still is very slow moving technology. In fact, the two projects which were recently commissioned operating, they actually struggle. Normally it will take about 1 to 2 years in the beginning to improve their system, their operation. And we also would like to see more biomass power plants participation, but somehow we are not too sure what actually the main barriers of the slow progression of this biomass power plant. Small hydro, the main issue is always obtaining permitting. For example, in Malaysia, you need to obtain at least 30 to 40 permits coming from various government state agencies like Forestry, Jabatan Perubatan Saliran, Jabatan Hak Ehwal Orang Asli, Jabatan Tanah, about 13-14 permitting. I mean, even though the approval has been given at federal level, but the approval, state matter, land matter, water rights issue, it belongs to the relevant state punya ni. So we cannot, I would say, interfere. So this is actually major barriers faced by small hydro players in the country.
Okay. Human capital and training, as I mentioned before, is very important. In SEDA, we have put much focus in the beginning to develop various courses on solar PV. Reason being, among all four technologies, solar PV is the easiest. It's like plug and play. You can buy the products, the main components off the shelf. You can actually assemble. Straight away, then you can generate compared to other renewable energy. Then one of the reasons why also we've been focusing so much on solar PV because of the numbers. As at today, we have approved about 5,000 houses with solar PV project, range between 4 to 12 kilowatt system each. So, but as at today, about 2,000 plus has been in operation, running. You can't see much, but I think in Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, Johor, Penang, Kedah, they're mining. Except for the Kelantan, Terengganu, you don't see much at that area still. But the rest of the states, you can see many houses have actually installed solar PV at their own houses. Okay, these are among the solar PV courses that we have coming up with, and it covers all in terms of designing, installation and maintenance, as well as off-grid solar PV systems as well. Okay, these are among the just to show some practical and field visits available in our solar PV courses and trainings. We do provide courses for at ASEAN level in 2013 because I would say that Malaysia we are advanced in terms of solar PV, in terms of the capacity building, the trainings, as well as the standards, the guideline available for the country. Okay, this is about one. We do provide other training for the small hydros. It all depends on what is the needs, the priority needed by our developers. Then we will develop the course based on their needs, biogas and biogas as well. In terms of EE trainings, yes. SEDA also provide trainings on energy efficiency in aircon and mechanical ventilation system, energy management in buildings, energy audit, as well as principal application compliance with MS 1525 code of this is code of practice, EE practice in non-commercial, non-residential buildings. Okay, RE way forward. I think that is now Dato' Fauzi has also mentioned. Okay, end of last year, the Planning and Implementation Committee has approved new mechanisms on RE. This is to somehow to compensate, to make up the loss of numbers that we are supposed to achieve. We only achieved 1/3 of our target in 2015. Then to make up, still we're very far to reach our 2 gigawatt by 2020. So what do we do? Based on our past experience, solar PV has been the one which is progressing very fast compared to the rest. That's why the government has announced, come up with a program called Net Energy Metering. And it was also announced by our Honourable Prime Minister on 23rd October 2015 under the 2016 budget, of which total quota of 500 megawatt will be offered starting this year until 2020 for whoever who are interested to install solar PV, then they can actually participate in this program. But the main focus is for solar self-consumption. Whenever you have export, then you can export it to the grid at a certain rate. Okay. Another one we call it large scale solar. Okay, large scale solar is meant for large scale system. But it can be as small as 1 megawatt, 1 megawatt up to 50 megawatt maximum sizes, exporting to the grid. So the total capacity 1000 megawatt by 2020. Okay, this program will start in 2017. So at least we have additional 1.5 gigawatt within this 5 years period. So we hope we can, I would say, we can fill the hole, and we can achieve our 2 gigawatt by 2020. But bear in mind, by the time, for example, if you achieve our 2 gigawatt by 2020, still we are, because our we are planting up more progressively the power plants, but because of RE, the progress is very slow. We can never catch up because our maximum demand is increasing. We are planting more power plants, but RE is still there. So that's why RE is available. It's abundantly available in the country. It's eligible, but like Dato' Pakai just mentioned just now, it's eligible but it's negligible. We in Seda Malaysia, we are struggling hard to promote, but somehow based on other countries available in the world, it all goes back to the policy. The government is very strong. They're pushing for it. Only then it can move forward. So, but in terms of our Malaysian, the public, they are, I would say, they are accepting to this RE program. So this I mentioned, the quota recently launched in 2016, the amount of quota for solar PV on the net metering and large-scale solar. Okay, other incentives available in the country, Green Tech Financing Scheme. This scheme is available until 2017, where the government will bear 2% of the total interest rate of the profit charges by private financial institutions, financing size up to 50 million per company, and the implementing agency is Malaysia Green Tech Corporation. And also, the government has also announced Green Investment Tax Allowance and Green Investment Tax Exemption applicable from 2016 until 2020, where certified green products under MICE directly and also with the certified company providing services in green sector can apply for these incentives. Okay, implementing agencies is MIDA Malaysia. Okay, if you need the information, you can always go to their website and explore more. Okay, as I mentioned just now, in terms of way forward, FIT is just to kickstart. It cannot be there forever. The end users, the public, cannot be contributing to the RE fund forever. It's just not fair to the public. So that's why FIT is actually to kickstart the whole RE program in the country. For the past 5 years, we can see that the system price has actually gone down, especially for solar PV. It is now reachable at the public general level. Okay, for example, with FIT, at the 5th to 6th year, you can actually recover your capex. But without feed-in tariffs, still the payback period is still very long, about 11-12 years, still very long, still not yet there, not yet attractive. But for the commercial industrial sector, with investment tax allowance, they can actually still recover their payback in the 8 to 10 years, which is, I would say, is attractive to the commercial industrial sector. This is where the net metering is actually, we can see the takers will be mainly coming from this commercial industry, not so much from the public. From the public, with the current energy price, still the payback will take still very long. Okay? But as I mentioned, we are in the process of revising our national targets. Our policy action plan is already 5 years old, so we need to actually revise the target and we look back what would be the way forward, and also to encourage more other REs to be in place. Okay, this will include geothermal as well as wind. Okay, and then ramping up RE capacity, I have mentioned just now, and also yes, biomass. The technical potential is huge. It's huge, but it's slow moving. So this is the area we need to look into to assist. Okay. Okay. Other initiative programs as mentioned, instead we do provide energy audit and energy audit activities, e-felicitation services, and also we do other projects like government, for example, also like energy audit. Okay. On the RMK level, there's an energy audit consumer grant available. Okay. And also we are actually developing our national solar PV performance and database web portal. It's under development, where we all PV systems from medium-sized scale will be monitored by Seda Malaysia and will be made available so that the public can view and see what and where are the PV systems available in the country, what are the performance like. Okay?
and publications. We do provide other publications, for example, the radiation map updated. We recently launched these publications early this year, and also on guideline on lighting protection system requirements for solar PV and a few other publications available within SEDA Malaysia. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing SEDA's initiative with us this morning. So she is here on behalf of Ms. Catherine Vizu, the CEO of SEDA. So can you remain on stage, Kara? As I would like to call upon Yang Berbagi Professor Makna once again to the stage to give away the token of appreciation. Persilakan. Thank you for being here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, next it is my pleasure to invite Yang Berbahagia Dato' Engineer Dr. Abu Bakar Jaafar, Co-Chair of UTM OTEC, to deliver his presentation on Introduction to Ocean Energy and OTEC. Please welcome Yang Berbahagia Dato' Bakar.
Thank you, Rosita. Assalamualaikum. Good morning, salam sejahtera, colleagues, friends, associates, and distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. So the purpose of my presentation first to introduce ocean energy in general, and I'm going to focus my presentation on ocean thermal energy, and in particular on the conversion. So this outline my presentation. To discuss about energy sources, renewable and non-renewable, and focus on ocean thermal energy, benefits of ocean energy, in particular ocean thermal energy, and the global potential and development, and touch a bit on economics, because the subject will be discussed also by one of the speakers this afternoon, and focus also on the potential not only in Malaysia but also neighboring country, Brunei Darussalam, and a slight overview on ocean energy by type and the way forward. Okay, this is how we look at the global sources of energy. So the bulk of the energy comes from the sun, but in nature, the energy from the sun captured in terms of wind, hydro, waves, biomass, currents, and ocean thermal energy. And these sources, we call them secondary sources. The primary source is the sun. And there are other three primary sources of renewable energy: geothermal, tidal movements, and salinity gradient. And these two topics will be covered also by other speakers. And on the right, of course, the fossil fuels plus the nuclear. So if you look at the size of the circle, OTEC in particular is in terms of potential, is about the same size of energy used in 2010. So I think the global potential is about 7 terawatt in terms of capacity. Okay, this is the first, this is the engineer, the French physicist who discovered how to extract the heat from the upper layer of the sea to convert into electricity. So Jacques Asselborn, French scientist, and based on the Rankine cycle. And when the Professor Ikegami from Japan made the presentation in Malacca in February 2012, so I did say to him, you're right, Professor Ikegami, this scientist has discovered this knowledge, but this knowledge has been revealed to us about 1,414 years ago. Right? So we Muslims appreciate Surah An-Nur, verse 40. And basically this verse saying that there is a total darkness in the deep sea, right? And then above which there is a current, above which there is a wave, above which is a cloud. There is a dark portion and there is also the lit portion. The OTEC metaphor comes from the fact that if one were to stretch one's arm through the lit portion, till one cannot see his arm anymore. That's the metaphor for OTAC, the differential, right, of the temperature between the deep part of the ocean and the deep part, the dark ocean. Now, of course, the last two verses is comes into the Aqidah. If one is not given any light, there should be no light for him. So if you were to illustrate a bit about what is said, what has been revealed, is that the energy from the sun goes through the water, the air particles become the wind, goes through water particles, becomes the clouds and the rain and hydro, and the rest of the energy hits the water surface that creates the wave, and the energy goes through the current to the deep water part, the upper layer of the deep water that become oceanic currents. And of course, the light can only penetrate up to certain depths, and beyond which the total darkness. So basically, the ocean thermal energy essentially is to extract the heat from the deep portion of the deep ocean. And of course, with technology, we can also harness energy from the sun through solar thermal energy collection and solar photovoltaics. And also, we can promote the growth of biomass for plants and vegetations. Right, this the science, the physics behind this. The light from the sun could penetrate the waters up to 300 meters beyond which total darkness. So the best definition for ocean thermal energy essentially is a method of converting part of the heat from the sun that is stored in the surface layers of body of water into electrical energy. So if nobody wants to take up this power, then we will simply convert the electrical energy into energy product equivalent. What we mean by this is including hydrogen fuel. So I would say this is about the best definition I've seen in the world, and this will be captured in the US law 1980 on ocean thermal energy. So as mentioned in the video just now, the technique of OTAC is essentially we use working fluid. In this case, the best is ammonia for the time being. And ammonia, the moment it is exposed to the warm water, it becomes gas, and this gas is used to turn the turbine and turn the generator, and that's how we get electricity. And if nobody wants electricity, we can introduce electrolyzer at the end of it to produce hydrogen. Now, the trick is how to convert this gas back to liquid. So that's the reason why we need the cold water from the deep sea. So this cold water will condense the gas to become liquid, and that's how we keep circulating the liquid to keep working, extracting the heat from the upper layer of the deep waters. Now, essentially, there are two products of OTAC. One is the power. The second product is actually the deep sea water. And from our assessment, economic assessment, actually the value of the OTAC is more, can be derived more from the deep sea water than from the energy itself. Right. We've done the survey in the South China Sea, in particular of waters of Sabah and Sarawak, and we established this profile. So the temperature at the top is about ranges from 27 to 29 degrees, and we need a 20-degree differential. So if we were to drop we go to the left till we reach 7 degrees. We are looking at the x-axis, 7 degrees, and we go down. So at about 650 meters, then we can start extracting the energy. So I think we cannot extract the heat, cannot get the best temperature differential of 20 degrees in shallow waters. So in Peninsular Malaysia, we don't have that potential unless we improve the current technology. Okay, what will be the benefits for many countries? I would say energy security. I think this has already been mentioned by the Energy Commissioner just now. It's very important aspect of energy is security, and also for food for water, and also even for cyber security. And then of course, in terms of biodiversity, we're not much known about the flora and fauna of the deep waters, so we need to do more research. And also, if you were to promote renewable energy, this is one of the responses to mitigate climate change, because more carbon will be released to the atmosphere, and also we will depend less on fossil fuels, the major sources of air pollution. That's also highlighted in the video just now. And there are other medical and health benefits from utilization of ocean thermal energy. And also, as you highlighted in the video, our purpose of developing the ocean thermal energy really to produce not so much the power to get connected to the grid. No way you can get connected to the grid, it's so far away, but to produce hydrogen, and that will fuel our future transportation. And also, but in terms of urbanization, now with supply of hydrogen with through fuel cells, at the same time you can take advantage of the solar photovoltaics, then I think we can go off grid. I think this subject also with these features. And of course, one of the products rising from the spin-offs from OTAC is to produce commodities, including civics and others. Okay, in short, I would say you cannot find any other technologies that can really that is so impactful to all those issues we have addressed, and because it is a cross-cutting technology, it is green technology, and addresses a number of fundamentals. At the same time, can address a number of our problems related to social economy. So in short, this is an overview of the whole scheme. We have the plant, ocean thermal energy. To the left, we produce electricity. We want the electricity to produce hydrogen. Then make full use of the warm seawater. We create a vacuum, for instance, vacuum chamber. We can make full use of the warm seawater to produce fresh water through flash distillation, for instance, to create the potable water. And we make full use of deep sea water for production of mineral water. Or before we produce mineral water, we can extract lithium for our batteries, for instance. And then those closer to the coastlines, we can make use of the cold deep sea water, about 10 degrees, for district cooling, space cooling, for refrigeration, and also some of the very high value marine culture, like growth or raising abalone, for instance, need cold water about 17.5 degrees Celsius. And then in the tropics, we normally have to go up to the mountains to grow our temperate vegetables. Now with cold water, deep sea water can cool down our soil in the tropics to grow all these temperate crops. And then the byproducts of the seaweed, for instance, can produce cosmetics and other pharmaceuticals. So in short, in pictures, as I was saying earlier, we can produce tomatoes, for instance. And on the picture on the right, if we were to grow any plant and vegetation, if the temperature about 80 degrees Celsius, it grows much better than if the soil temperature about 50 degrees. And one of the high value produce of OTAC spin-off is the growing of seaweed. It is retail in Japan at about $140 per kilo. And then also in Japan, they also have to take fugu fish only with certified, only prepared by the certified chefs. But in Japan, they have discovered if you want to grow a fugu fish in the deep sea water, the fish is no longer poisonous. So that will promote of course, the Japanese use this deep sea water to raise prawns for the tempuras. And also another scene in Japan where you pump up the pond, the deep sea water is full of nutrients the growth of phytoplankton and I was saying earlier, the seaweed, the offspring of seaweed can be turned into cosmetics and craft products. You see the lady on the right there, there's East Earth Japan 2012. There's a testimony and products are good. And before you produce mineral water, you can extract lithium, and there was a student in UTM working on this subject, and just reconfirmed that if you were to take mineral water, your regular diet, and help to reduce your obesity, blood pressure, and cholesterol. So good news for Malaysians. Right, just now we were touching on hydrogen, so that the future energy. Okay, this is we can find the resource. The radar, the place is the higher potential, and we are lucky that Sabah Sarawak is in the map, global map. Right, in terms of economics, on the first look, people might think that renewable energy infrastructure is not viable. So this is just to illustrate the fact that although the capital for the fossil fuel very low, about $3-4 billion per megawatt, but you have to pay for the fuel. The fuel now keeps going up. The price of oil is going to drop slightly, but in the long run, I think you have to pay more for the fuel. But for OTEC, although the capital is very high, about $8 billion per megawatt, but you don't have to pay for the fuel. The fuel is free. So if you were to take the area on the curve, then you can say that the big saving, right? The picture on the left, over 21-year period, 5 billion. For OTEC, maybe 1.5 billion, there's a saving about 6 billion. So that's where the advantage of OTEC is. And of course, this is based on the $100 US per barrel, but of course, if you drop the price to $50 so the saving is still substantial. Okay, this capital cost, of course, the economy of size is very important. You can reduce the generation cost by building a bigger plant. And we believe that if you look at the energy cost alone, you might think that the OTEC is not viable, but I think simple economics is that if a single OTEC produce the spin-offs products, actually you can also generate power at no cost. That's the exercise we're doing now. To demonstrate energy from OTEC is zero. It's very free because the capital can be absorbed by producing mineral water, for instance, and other products. Okay, but of course in Malaysia this is only academic exercise, but we don't see that you can supply OTEC power directly to the grid. Too far away, so this is just an exercise. But I think this exercise is very important because we want to still calculate the power required to produce hydrogen. So knowing the cost of electricity to produce hydrogen. So this exercise is useful. Okay, this course has to be about 50 megawatt. I will go into the detail. This will show the capital cost required. Right. I was saying earlier about 10 million, some estimates about 11 million, depends on the location. Right. Lately we have been requested to advise Brunei Darussalam. They're also looking at the OTEC in Brunei. So they have also quite very bit of potential, about 6,000 megawatt. So I think their installed capacity is less than 500 megawatt at the moment. So in Malaysia, in terms of potential, although Dato' Fauzi said then this number yet to be firmed up. Okay. To me, it's very easy to firm up any numbers. We just spend 2 or 3 million, engage people like McKinsey or Boston Consulting, PwC, maybe they will listen to them. If any academic were to say, they say the number is not firm up. Right? So just give us the 4 million, we'll firm up the number. Right? So in fact, he did mention why the ocean energy not yet featured in Malaysia energy projection. They say the numbers not yet featured. And I had the opportunity even to brief Pemandu on this subject, where Pemandu released the chapter 6 on all gas energy. They didn't capture also ocean energy. So this is one issue we need to take up to the authority. Why you think the number is not firm up? who has to form the number? Right? All the question of whether you engage the right person or the right authority. Right? So, well, in Malaysia, with potential 100 megawatts, of course, the government may not allow us to exploit every inch of it. So, if government would allow even 50% of the area for OTEC, so at least the potential is about 50,000 megawatts, which is double of the current installed capacity. So, this is the history of how we discovered this resource. I'm not going to go through in detail. And also, we are fortunate we have this deep waters that's deep 2,900 megawatts. And we are thinking to build the first commercial size pioneer project of Pulau Layan. So we can start on it. Right? Those are the project sites. We have identified also the first 5 OTEC potential sites. There are many sites. So any investors around this, we recognize one of us in this group has already decided to look at one of the sites now. Okay, I'll go through this. Sorry, this is detail. So in terms of providing an overview, I hope this figure is much better than I have now. If you look at the charts here, the bars, you see the first two in terms of different types of ocean energy. You have thermal gradient, which is referring to ocean thermal energy, salinity gradient, then waves, tidal, and current. Right? So, we talk about ocean energy. The first two having the most potential is ocean thermal energy and salinity gradient. Right? The rest is less, especially in the tropics. We don't have much wave here. Okay, so the way forward for ocean energy development in the tropics, I would rank this way, but this is open-ended listing, subject to further study. But definitely, I can bet OTEC is the largest, and next can be any one of them, depending on the time of the day, depending on the year. Is subject to. But wave, I would certainly rank the lowest in the tropics. But of course, waves potential is higher in the temperate regions. And Academy of Science carbon-free energy workshop held in April last year. So we made some projection how much OTEC can be developed. So this is still a projection. But the interesting part is that the share of coincidence is that the contribution of OTEC in overall energy generation in terms of electricity by 2050 about 70%. This is the same percentage that was presented by Dr. Fauzi. But he didn't say OTEC, but he didn't say ocean energy. But he said renewable by 2050, right? Will contribute about 70% of the total generation. And I saw Prof. Wan Azhar just now also referred to the same figure, 70% by 2050. Be contributed by the renewable, and I think by this projection, of course, renewable will be more than 70%. Just OTEC alone is about 17. The rest will be hydrogen, fuel cells, bioenergy, and the rest I can read. But anyway, the top layer is the green one, is called the contribution of fossil fuels. Fossil fuel will run for some time, but it will only decline. Okay, this is a figure just to see that where OTEC stands compared to the rest of the ocean energy type. In the tropics, we have high potential for OTEC, very low into the wind and wave. But in the temperate region, just the opposite. Right? Hardly any OTEC in the temperate regions, but more on the wind, wave, and tidal. Right, this is the map to illustrate the potential of wave and wind in the temperate region and OTEC potential in the tropics. So lately, people have been asking me, there's a bit of confusion about the terminology, what do you mean by clean energy, what do you mean by green energy, what do you mean by renewable energy. But one thing very clear to me is that when you say clean energy, no CO2. So that includes nuclear. Right? When you say green energy means no pollution except CO2. Right? Renewable, of course, renewable. And sustainable means that you can meet these three criteria. So OTEC is one of them, right? Anyway, this subject further refinement, but in general, in the teacher so much confusion about these terminologies. Alright, so this is my last slide. This is still ongoing exercise. So in the final analysis, I think, I suppose if the Energy Commission were to say what are the firm numbers, I think we need to carry out this exercise, I think. You know, on the y-axis, the cost of generation will be expressed in terms of money per unit of electricity, and on the x-axis is generation capacity, and I always define generation capacity in terms of, say, in this case, megawatt over a million of investment. And the best, I would say, cell will be on the lower right, OTEC, and wave on the other end, right? This is the tentative exercise we have done based on the current literature. I think we need to carry out more analysis to know exactly. But I did say earlier, OTEC actually, we can also make it in such a way that OTEC, the cost is zero, right? You can generate as much energy on OTEC because we can get the revenue, the capital to be recovered by producing the spin-off OTEC. That's my point of view. Right, thank you very much. Sorry for wrapping it, but very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Mato.
Is it open to question or?
Yes, it is open now.
So they didn't allow for the first two speakers to take any question, but they try me now. Okay, I would like to recognize anybody who would like to poke any question or comment. Yes, Lal.
You know the situation in India. Up to the moment, the only...
Can you get the mic, please?
Thank you. I was fortunate to be notified of last year's symposium that you had here. And the Martinique project that is under construction was quoted as being about 250 million to 320 million euros for a 10 megawatt net output plant. That's about 25 to 32 million euros per megawatt. I'm not sure whether your figures show what's the capital cost for OTEC that you have put in your economic assessment, because definitely the 3,000 ringgit per watt for fossil fuel is not quite correct, because fossil plants, coal plants, are roughly 2,000 US, 1,500 to 2,000 US per megawatt.
Well, Lal, you can argue with me all these numbers, but they remain as numbers till we do the proper document. I was involved in the TNB Manjung project, right? 4 million US per megawatt. Right? That was a new project. Anyway, unless they got this cost plus, you know what I mean? Yeah, okay. Martinique, of course, is the first commercial plant. So, but then when we had the first international OTEC symposium in Hawaii in 2013, all the technology providers got together and they come up with a figure, 10 million US per megawatt. But if you talk to Louis Vega, he was talking about 8 million US per megawatt, and he published it in a report released by Asian Development Bank. So I think many of you interested in OTEC, I think you should get a whole copy of this very good report by ADB, prepared by Professor Louis Vega. He was our key speaker. So, but to know exact numbers, because actually the main cost of the OTEC plant actually to be the plant where it is on land or offshore, you know, the engineering costs. But I would argue that OTEC cost is zero, because of we want to encourage, we want to make full use of the deep sea water in order to absorb the capital costs. That's my argument. Right? We shouldn't look at just electricity.
I appreciate the comment.
Yeah.
That electricity is basically a byproduct. There are other sources
Yes.
which are the main products.
Yeah.
That I agree at times.
Yeah. Anyway, but once we make money out of other spin-offs, then we can sell electricity. But at the moment, I suppose the proposition is that depends on the point of demand. Right? So we want, of course, the trouble is all this comparison, all academics. Okay, do I recognize next?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning. The first OTEC pilot project, which is I think was developed by the US in Hawaii. But now they have stopped the operation of the OTEC. Do you know why do they stop the operation? Well, it should be continuing producing electricity.
Sorry, I know your name, sir. Muhammad Nasir from?
Yeah, from UNICEF.
UNICEF, okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I recognize you now. Yeah, okay. I haven't seen you for 20 years. Sorry. Muhammad Nasir. Yeah, last time you had no jagut. Okay, Prof. Actually, I was a student in Hawaii. You know, that's why I learned about tech, right? And actually, you're right. But now, Makai Engineering, is engineering arm of the Lockheed Martin. They just commissioned 210 kilowatt OTEC in Hawaii, August last year. So, what you refer to was the old OTEC plant that was built in 1979. Yeah, and then of course they had a series of that. I think the reason that they were testing different components. I think, especially they were testing on the pipes, on the condensers, on the heat exchangers. That's why they had this stop and go situation. But now 210 kilowatt plant up and running now in the Ekona area. Okay, I think I think we are also running time. So any further questions, you can always approach me personally. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, so this is that we've been waiting for. So, okay. Please, I would like to welcome all of you to have refreshments served outside at the foyer. Yeah? And please be back within 15 minutes time. Thank you.
kot. Kita apply yang sama. Tak apa lah, yang tank pun ambil yang sama. Baik tank pun tapi civil mekanik, civil dengan mechanical lah kan? Kita punya lah, sebab yang civil lebih pada apply. Lebih pada apply pasal pump. Flight electrical tak apply. Diorang banyak fundamental banyak. So better ambil yang mechanical tu.
Video
Yang civil tu ni tak.
yang mechanical combine kan? Semua
Nanti 12 minit nak kena ada balik.
Jemput makan? Nak makan ya? Alah, grab sikit je.
Seriously? Sila. Oh, untuk makan baru. Oh. Saya gugup lah, so saya